Hello there, and welcome. I've been looking around on YouTube, and lately I haven't found much in terms of Nazi zombies, other than usually maps that need server commands or zombie craft. But never have I seen something that would actually work in an online, server without any commands or anything similar to that. So I got to thinking, wouldn't it be interesting if, well, someone made a actual working Nazi zombie map on Minecraft that needs no commands and works as is, as well as you can implement as many maps to it as you want. Well, messing around a little bit, I started to build this, starting at one of what would have been a spawner, and kind of worked from there. It got kind of havoc, but this is about, the map itself is not in my working, as I have the credits right here. I actually did the programming, and the map is made by Phail, or Phail. He's Phail on the server. Phail is the other way I know him. However, he's working on what is right now the map. This small area right here I did do. But more than that, I've not seen any tutorials on anything like this either. So I'm going to walk you through how this game works. Not necessarily how to make it. So I might put a schematic in the description so that you can implement. It would be nothing more than the programming down here, the redstone. But that way you can add it to your server. Pretty simple, you can just do this little area here. But you could actually put it just about anywhere you want. I have an open top here. Of course, you can have a map generally as big as you can have the redstone all loaded at once. Which I would give you about as a little shorter than as much as you can see. About as much as you can see, that's about as, and this is on far, it's about as close as as large as you need to be. The closer you are to this, however, the better it will run. Okay, what it does is it starts down when you hit the button here. I'll just activate that, since I do not have any of the spawners hooked up as far as I can remember. Yeah, let me make sure. Yeah, none of the spawners are actually hooked up, which is good, as you can see by the missing redstone. Anyway, what it does is it follows down when you hit that button, flips this inverter, follows the path down, past this inverter, activating this path, working its way down to the junction here. It'll first send a circuit of redstone here to the entire blue, being the mainframe. It'll pass through the entire mainframe. However, only this part right here will actually activate. When it does, the redstone here will deactivate, causing this redstone torch to activate, flipping this memory unit, and causing this piston to go down. As you see, it just sent a current and the piston moved. It went through this one and deactivated the other side. Or, no, when the current passes through, it activates this one, because that's what it should look like when you start. It'll lower the pistons here, which are actually the rounds. Because this actually has, like, Nazi zombies. I almost said Nazi. Got League of Legends on that mind. It'll activate the rounds. The rounds don't work the same way as they would in the normal game, primarily because it's redstone. It would take a lot more space to do something like that. But it'll pass to the mainframe, which will activate one of these lines. And you can have all of these lines active, which would be 12 rounds in total. However, the game does not end there. It does go on infinitely until you hit the reset, which is all magenta, but I'll get to that later. At that junction over there, it'll also send a current this way, which you could make this spot simpler. I just set up 2 memory units. You don't actually have to have 2, because you could just hook that up to this line. However, it inverts this memory unit, actually locking it in place, and if you follow the redstone, which it's kind of a little haywire, but it'll hit 3, as I call it, random spawners, deactivating a torch right above this. Say, if this torch was active, by that line not being active, that would stay glowing, and you would not see it blinking like you do here. Which, when the when the brown goes down, actually locks it in. So it sends a current. But not necessarily will it spawn all the zombies at that one. Because during the second or 2, however long it passes through, it takes about 2 seconds, second and a half, I don't know. It can switch spawners and actually spawn zombies in different areas. Or spawn more than just one zombie. Or not spawn any zombies at all, depending on how it activates. It's all random. Anyway, the black line also, I know it's haywire, because it's a lot of circuit. It'll actually pass through here, pushing the piston down there, so it can actually do the rounds and stuff. But the reason the piston's there is if you actually deactivate it, pulls it back, and stops it from sending another current. As well as it deactivates that over there, the randomizer. It'll send the current here. And this is based off of Seth Bling's, actually the memory unit and the mainframe are also based off Seth Bling's Pit Frenzy, which is also in my server here, in my private server that only me and my friends use. It'll send the current through, pushing this piston out. After, say, a second or 2, 8 ticks or so, it'll deactivate the torch here. Sorry, my dad just got home. Which will start up the timer. And this will start to actually, every time it passes through that block, sends a current, which lowers those pistons, which are 4 sets of. 1 randomizer per set of 4 spawners, for a total of 12 spawners in this design. But it also move this glass circular contraption, I don't know what you want to call it, which has a brown wool block on it. When that gets here, it completes the circuit, completing a round, which sends the current all the way over to the mainframe. It also unlocks itself unless the block moves again. That way it can also end the round if, say, someone hits the reset, so that the game does not continue and round 1's never shorted. When it does pass through, it will send the energy. We'll just find one here. These all signify rounds. This is round 1. This one's actually round 7, I believe. And there's also another set of pistons above, which actually does hard mode. Yes, it's actually a Nazi zombie map with hard. It'll send the current through, and after it sends it through, the piston activates. If it doesn't get a long enough circuit, which it tends not to, it won't activate both pistons, so you can sometimes have zombies, if you have hard difficulty on, spawning in 2 different places. Assuming you have energy pass through, it'll actually go up to a spawner, which is hooked up over here. Let me get my block here. Hooked up to these dispensers, which are full of zombies. You may have to refill this often enough, though, sadly. Just because, it will spawn zombies quickly To which then the zombies, being fake zombies, will come out these doors and enter the map. Which this, my friend has decided he's going to do a dome. That way I think you could probably, he wants to make it so you can also play during the day. Otherwise you have to play at night. Unless you want to add some structure over the top. That's only this map specific. You could do any kind of design map you wanted, really. Otherwise, once it passes through, drops this block, it'll follow the line. I believe I'm following around 1, which goes off to 2 different spawners. But each spawner has 2 sets of rounds. So you still get 12 with 12. Which lowers the piston, and obviously you can do from there. The red is signifying hard mode, which if you actually flip this one down, it activates the torch here by inverting it, and the piston's lower, which makes it so you can actually spawn twice the number of zombies. Fun, because now you don't have just, you know, 2 zombies, you have 4 zombies spawning. In some cases, if you have 4 originally, you're going to spawn 8. The game reset, and that torch there signifies the game's on. Game reset quickly deactivates and reactivates this line so that it resets the entire mainframe, as well as flips all the memory blocks, all the memory units. The brown will continue, but this is no longer sending energy, so it stops the zombies from spawning. Once the brown wool, which is currently there, gets here, this system actually deactivates, and the game is completely shut down. The torch here will signify when that's completed. To about half a second. Not that it really matters, but it's quick. It needs to hurry up. It's now in place. That has deactivated and is no longer receiving energy. Simple enough. Since I'm pretty sure a lot of people cannot repeat this system easily, you have to know what you're doing with Redstone. I will see about putting a schematic up, and otherwise, yeah, that should be about it. Just remember to hook up the lines. Of course, do whatever map you want, doesn't matter, and enjoy what I found to be the first server-bound, no command Nazi zombie game mode.